Live from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in Texas, this is Runway DFW in color. Now, here is your host, Walt Zwerko.
My headphones down and I have no idea where they are. Isn't that a great way to start? I wanted to turn on my scanner so you could hear the air traffic control. Excuse me. And I put my headphones down real quick and I couldn't find them, so now I've got them. I think we're back on track here. Welcome to Runway DFW. My name is Walt. We are going to show you. Oh boy. Here we go. It's Friday, August 5th, 2022. This is the first time we've done an evening program in quite a while. It's really hot. It's over 100 degrees. We're baking a little bit, but we'll do okay. You can see in our image there from camera 1. Camera 1? Yeah. Camera 1, there's the Speedbird, the A380. That's headed back to London Heathrow in just a little bit, so we'll capture that for you. We are here at DFW Founders Plaza, as always, with lots of great action for you and the other plane spotters around the world on Runway DFW. And there is the East Control Tower here at DFW Airport, from which we look down upon. Usually we're looking at it. We've been with you in the mornings most recently, and everything is backlit then. And so now we've got everything gloriously lit from the front. So we'll be able to bring you. It'll be a little more well-defined, at least until the sun goes down, which is on its way, but it's still up there, so let's get going. Let's view some planes, shall we? So first on the agenda is an American Eagle regional flight. Punch it up yet? No. There it is. It's turning and burning. I'll have to get the ID for you in a minute. You hear a little squeal in the background. That is some power supply noise, which I'll get rid of in just a second. That's a little better. Here comes an incoming flight from Cancun. I'd say that was a Land O'Lakes landing. My thermometer is reading 100 degrees in the shade here as we say hello to a lot of you who are there. Stephen Garfield wants to know if we will see the British Airways flight to London soon, and yes, we will. Came in around 5:15 or so, so we should see it go out in the 7 o'clock hour, I believe. I haven't checked the latest rundown yet. John Franco says, I spent 5 hours in the heat today, earned some relaxing cold time in cold air conditioning. That sounds good. That sounds very good indeed. We've got an Embraer 175 and American Eagle flight taking off for Monterrey, Mexico. There it goes by the tail of that gigantic A380. Chris checks in. Happy Friday night to all, and to you as well, Chris. Thank you for being with us on Runway DFW. We've got Allison Bowers. Hey, good evening, Walt. Good evening to you, Allison. Glad to have you with us. And you as well, Susan Duncan. We've got flight level 77 checking in from Raleigh in North Carolina. Keith is showing the flag from Pittsburgh. Loco Skater. Hi there, Loco Skater. We have Breezy from Pensacola, Florida. Hello, Breezy. Good to see you. Dwayne C. says, we are all waiting for the little broadcast truck. You know what? I'm set up a little differently today because of the hour, and I didn't have a chance to, and I don't know what you're talking about, little broadcast truck. That thing is a 4-ton behemoth. But I don't have it at the ready right now. If things really slow down later, maybe we'll get it going. And that was American Flight 313, an A321, touching down from San Diego in California. And you see there, going through your screen, American Flight 1430 on its way to San Francisco, but before that, looks like we're going to be treated to Frontier. And who's on the tail today? Any guesses? Looks like Stretch the Great Blue Heron. So we always try to get you a good view of it, and it's a little better now that we've got the sun at our backs. That is an A320 aircraft. We've seen this heron before. It's not a stranger to Runway DFW. My voice sounds a little dry. I think it's because I've been out here in the sun for the better part of a few hours getting things set up while I do my regular job, which involves posting news stories on the interwebs. We greet Tom Assel from Burlington, Vermont with the classic American Airlines logo. Got some double barrel action there. That was a flight to San Francisco that I guess got first dibs when it came to the top of runway 18 left. So Alaska just had to cool its jets there for a minute or two. I'm sorry, Frontier. And we say a good Friday evening to MJ Scanlon Photography, one of our pals here at Runway DFW. Greetings from North Mississippi. John Franco is letting us know that SkyWest 4947 is taxiing for a flight to Killeen Fort Hood Regional Airport. And Chris quips that I could have cooled off in the 4-ton behemoth satellite truck, but you know, there's so many people in there, our technical engineer, our director, our audio guy, our sound crew, our grips, that I just kind of cooled off in our auxiliary car, which is parked behind me. But that's a good idea. Maybe they'll let me in one of these days. Stephen Garfield is watching from SA, which I guess could mean two different things, either San Antonio or South America. I'm gonna go with San Antonio, as this Frontier flight to Denver seems to be stuck. There you see an American Airlines flight 1245 at A319. Don't know where that one was headed. Okay, so we've got an American Airlines flight to Los Cabos. No, I'm sorry, to San Jose. That's the one on the right, if I'm reading this correctly. And it looks like the one that's pointed to the right, which is south, and it looks like that one is off to the races first. And if you're tuning in late, we will be seeing the British Airways A380 departing for London Heathrow, probably in the next hour here on Runway DFW. the sound of my microphone becoming unclipped. Let's see. I hope we're punched up on the right camera here. The sun being behind us is nice for the photography aspect of it, but it's murder at looking at screens. I've still got Frontier, which is parked at the top of runway 18 left. What you have in the center of your shot there is American Flight 2417. It's a 737-800 off to Mexico City. See a Mesa jet going over the sky bridge over to the other side of the airport. Greetings to Sylvia S. from Michigan. Hello, Sylvia. Good to see you. John Franco is letting us know that Denver flights are delayed at their origin airport for 40 minutes on average. That sounds like a passenger's nightmare. Hello to Irish Dublin on Runway DFW. And that Frontier flight, which is going to Denver, John is letting us know it's delayed on FlightAware, though it's moving into position right now. So let's go take a look, shall we? A bit jouncy. That was American Airlines flight 1436 coming in from Liberia. Boeing 737-800. And let's see if we can follow this aircraft up and away. It's off to the #1 destination from DFW, LAX, Los Angeles. Off to Las Vegas goes flight 2373. That's an A321. We'll pan just a little bit left, see a American Eagle flight coming in from Rapid City. Sorry, doing some more mic adjustments there. We've got American flight 1434, 737-800, and it's going to go off to Vancouver, where it's probably just a little bit cooler than here, I would guess. Runway North Texas saying, Runway DFW, hello, my dog and my mom are watching with me right now. I enjoy this spotting at DFW. Glad you do. You can probably hear the wind, which is coming at us from the pretty much due south. I think I solved our noisy cable problem. It's kind of annoying. Meanwhile, I'm still having problems with my microphone. Let's see if that'll do the trick. We're going to take a look at American Flight 1707 coming in from Oklahoma City. It'll be an A319. Our next arrival on runway DFW. Camera 1.
409, travel setting 130, maintain 2000.
SWA list flyer, DFW Runway DFW. I'm assuming they're talking to us. Hello, I'm a big fan of y'all. I love to watch y'all. Well, thank you. And yes, I've gotten rid of the scratchy sounds on the camera feed. It was actually coming from our auxiliary microphone, the one that provides you with sound when I turn my microphone off. But it was a kind of a loose connection. More aircraft for you now on Runway DFW. Coming in from San Antonio, Texas, American Flight 1193. And there, parked at International Terminal D, is what will be the star of our program tonight, I would guess. The British Airways A380 off to London Heathrow in, let's see, probably sometime in this hour. Let's see if I can find the precise schedule for that. Came in about 10 or 15 minutes late this evening, which is pretty good. It's been up to 2 hours late at times. And it shows on the official rundown here that it's estimated to depart at 7:55, so that's about 40 minutes from now. So hang out with us here at Runway DFW, and we will bring you that. Meanwhile, there you see Qatar Airways. It's Qatar Flight 730 and A350 headed to Doha. Here is Sky West. I don't know if I'm remembering this right. I thought I was watching, I know I was watching Airline Videos Live with Kevin the other day, and he had a little quiz, and I think the quiz was that Sky West was the 5th biggest airline in the U.S. by the number of planes it had, which I believe was 500 something. There goes a Spirit Airlines flight taking off from the east side of the airport. Was American Flight 2583 to Santa Barbara, California. So now the question is whether Qatar is going to take off on this side or on the east side? I don't know the answer. I do not know. If it begins to make a right turn here, then it's headed off to the east side. And I think that's what's about to happen. Is that a special livery I see? Oh, it's the TWA, American Airlines Heritage livery. I haven't seen that in a couple of months. One of my favorites. That is American Flight 1205. It's on its way to Austin, Texas, that 737-800. We've got a UPS. So I'm going to say a 767? Yeah, it's a 767. It's backing up now. It's going to be on its way to Austin. But there's kind of a crowd in front of it, and I can't bring it to you right now. The 767 is behind these gentlemen who are leaning on that podium. They were kind enough to get out of the way, so there it is. I think we say this every time we see a 767 here. We don't have any passenger 767s that come in or out here, so it's always nice to see this. The same is true with 757s. And UPS flies both of those. Jacob Welch just subscribed to Runway DFW. Thank you, Jacob. Glad to have you with us. Randy wants to know whatever happened to the Qantas A380. And that's a plane that used to fly to DFW Airport here. And Qantas ended those flights before the, at the start of the pandemic. And so we don't see it here anymore, although Qantas still does fly A380s to other destinations. There's that beautiful TWA livery.
Line up for weight 18 left, American 1205.
Keith wants to know, what's that noise? Well, it's either the air traffic control radio, or that whine in the background is what you're looking at there, the UPS 767 on its way to Austin. Or I guess it could be me talking. Sebastian Clavo just came to watch the stream, and that is perfectly fine. We're glad to have you with us, Sebastian. Wherever you may be in the world. Watch this TWA livery Go up and away.
Okay.
Aussie Pete, good morning from Australia. Good morning to you. Nice to catch you guys in the morning. We usually, when we do our morning shows, it's really late at night. And John Franco is advising that if we want to find a passenger 767, we'd have to do a stream from Alliance Fort Worth. Omni Air International has a crew base out there. And I thought about doing a stream from Alliance Airport in Fort Worth. But the problem is, you know, I've kind of monitored their comings and goings there. And while it might be nice to go and shoot some footage there, I don't think it could support a live stream, because I don't know that I could talk that much about and fill up all the time between planes taking off. They may have a rush in the mornings for cargo flights, because it's primarily a cargo airport, Fort Worth Alliance is. But maybe if I can identify a time where there's lots of traffic and it's daytime, I'll try it one day. And this 767 again is off to Austin in Texas. We are coming to you live from DFW Founders Plaza on the northwest side of this sprawling aviation facility. We don't have quite the crowd we had here when the A380 returned. I think it was the 1st of July. The British Airways A380 first arrived here. We had a pretty good crowd that day, but for a Friday night, there's lots of people hanging out here on this 100-degree Fahrenheit evening. You are looking at what appears to be American Flight 2235, an A321 off to Denver. And on the tail end there you saw American Eagle Flight 3725 coming in from San Angelo, Texas. You see entering your viewfinder a Volaris flight. Be off to Guadalajara, that A321 will. But lined up now is American Flight 2520 to Calgary in Canada. Clive Barber wants to know, hi Walt, any queens at the cargo bays? Well, I didn't see any come in. There's none at the over at UPS. We've got a couple of, at least two, maybe three MD-11s over there, but no queens that I have seen. Not since I've been here about several hours ago. And Derek Jones is with a nice comment. Hello there, really great watching this from West Midland in England. And I know you've got one of the heavyweight airport broadcasters in your neck of the woods. Well, several really. We've got Airliners Live, we've got Big Jet TV. So there's lots to watch from England, and we're nice. It's nice that we can bring you something for late night viewing in the UK. And I know I didn't tell you what this was. I couldn't glance over at my screen.
Never take a photo to later on with 3310. Line up that light's going to steady 53.
And there's Camilla, that Volaris jet. And once again, this flight is off to Guadalajara in Mexico. I know, I ask this all the time. What is up with their tail art? Looks like they're trying to hide something. I guess it's supposed to represent something, or maybe it's just abstract. I don't know. Not a fan of the abstract tail art. Sal Peary is watching from Canada. Hello, Saul. And Jesse lets us know that the tail is supposed to look like South America. Okay. South America it is. Let's zoom over here just a bit for an arrival from Las Vegas. An A321 coming in, American Airlines flight number 2473. I think we're going to get to see the Volaris make its way to the skies. Things come down a bit. I've got to get a drink. My voice is like, feels like sandpaper right now. So Camilla is taking to the skies. There's the A380 in the background. We haven't yet seen it light up on the radar, but we do expect it to go out before the top of this hour. Coming in from Ontario, California, this American A321. Starting to get a little dusky here at Founders Plaza. Let me try to sort out these aircraft for you in front of us. See a Dreamliner back there. It's going to be off to Sao Paulo, Brazil in a minute or two. But before that, it looks like American Flight 1241, an A321 off to Seattle. I'm sorry. This is Flight 1578. It's a 737-800 off to Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Left clear for takeoff, or heavy part, American 1578. 23 movie after the head.
The wind. They decided to use all the runway they could that time. Here's the tail end of that 787 Dreamliner on its way to Sao Paulo. And that is a long trip to the southern hemisphere. that is an A321. That's American Flight 1241 to Seattle, which I prematurely announced before. They're on camera too. Fariz Khan just subscribed to Runway DFW. Thank you, Fariz. Glad to have you as part of the Runway DFW family. I think you'll find everybody to be quite hospitable. Elimar Piratello, greetings from Brazil. Very nice channel. Thank you, Elimar. We just sent a plane your way. And Jedrix Jones says the Dreamliner from Sydney. And I was so excited to see that I knocked the microphone right off of my holder. But Dreamliner from Sydney, about 10 minutes out. That's cool news. And Majorly Annoyed informing us that British Airways Flight 192, the A380 is delayed until 7:49, which not too far off in the distance, not too far behind schedule. Okay, so before we get our pals from Sydney coming in, I'm going to take a little water break here. So it's time for everybody to put on their disco dancing shoes on a Friday night.
Disco!
got myself about a half a liter of water. It doesn't seem like quite enough, but here we go. Here's American Flight 1497 coming in from Wichita, Kansas on Runway DFW.
3651 South Airlines clear for Sierra, monitor ground 0.65 today.
It's quieting down a little bit. There's American Eagle. There's American Eagle Flight 3037 on its way to Oklahoma City in your shot there. But we're going to watch instead Qantas Flight 7 coming in from Sydney, Australia. It's a Dreamliner. Going up there in the sky for 14 hours and 58 minutes. And as we watch that come in, we have just seen the indication on radar that British Airways Flight 192 is about to push back from Terminal D, the international terminal here. And Tom is saying, man, everyone's definitely ready to get off that plane, referring to the Qantas flight. That is definitely one of the, probably the three longest flights from here. I guess the other two would be the Qantas, the Qatar and the Emirates flights to the Middle East. Allison Bauer saying, yeah, hard pass on a 14-hour flight.
2761 contact departure. 2761, good.
And you can see how windy it is. Now that's my tripod at pretty much full zoom. That plane is the better part of 2 miles away. Well, it's about 1.5 miles away, I guess, from here. Renee Taylor saying that her flight coming back from Abu Dhabi just to JFK was 14 hours. Yikes, that's a long flight. This flight I've been on is a flight to and from Seoul in South Korea from here at DFW Airport. Here's American Flight 1916, a 737-800 going out to Kansas City as we prepare to welcome American Flight 2769, and that'll be an A321 coming in from Seattle. And here it comes at the top of your screen to the left. And here's the flight to Kansas City. If you are new to Runway DFW, you will have noticed that there is an abundance of flights with the American Airlines and American Eagle liveries. There's an exception there in the background. But yes, Dallas Fort Worth International Airport is very much the dominion of American. And between it and American Eagle flights, they operate about 85% of the passenger traffic here. But we're blessed to have a number of other airlines coming and going. There's a couple of Sun Country planes there, a Qatar plane in the background. And if the wind is blowing in the right direction, we get to see a lot of cargo as well. David Lawson just subscribed to Runway DFW. Welcome to you, David. Glad to have you here aboard with us. We're going to watch American Airlines Flight 2393 coming in from Fresno, California. Because why not? And this United flight we saw just a tad earlier, it's off to Chicago O'Hare. It's an A320, flight 1186. And since we don't see many airlines of other colors here, let's take a look at this one.
A blast from the past, 1999.
Yup, that's a 1999 airplane. A 20th century aircraft, which they have repainted in the current United colors with the large logo on the fuselage. lifted off smartly from the runway. Nothing coming in, nothing going out, so let's keep our eye on Speedbird, shall we? Danny Methane saying, I'm sitting on the top floor of the parking garage here at DFW waiting for the A380 to take off. Not moving yet, is it? And hello, Joel Hinkson. Thank you very much for becoming the newest subscriber to Runway DFW. Someone's either complimenting me or probably not. Does anybody know who Casey Kasem is out there? He was sort of famous here in the U.S. And Seb's the Beast is lamenting that he subbed but he won't get a shout out. Don't be a negative person like that, Mr. Seb's the Beast. Well, there you see the A380 pushing back. So we will get to see a daylight takeoff. The last time I was here to see it taking off, it was delayed until I think it was like 9:30. So, and my camera's really not designed for that kind of abuse, but we did the best we could, and we did get a picture of it. Farida Bed says, Runway DFW, I'm 56, of course I know who Casey Kasem was. And Laura said he had the best voice in radio announcing. He also did some TV work too. He was the voice of NBC promos there for a while. Casey Kasem. And Allison said she never missed the top 40 on Saturday mornings. Yeah, I'm old enough. I had some. I never worked at a radio station. I worked at a couple of radio stations, never one where his show was played, but I do know I had seen copies of his show in its early days. It was distributed on vinyl discs. It wasn't on tape, and it certainly wasn't ferried around the world by satellite as it would be today. But the stations either got a tape recording of it, or you got an actual disc of the Casey Kasem Top 40 shows. I think you were required to send those back after you played them, so nobody could fool around with them. But I bet those would be worth something to have one of those. The Casey Kasem American Top 40 on vinyl disc. Runway North Texas is telling us that I've been watching since the start of the stream. Also, that is British Airways Flight 192. It's headed off to Heathrow. Indeed it is. And Allison is saying they still have reruns of his show. I think you're referring to Casey Kasem on a station here. I know they had played it on Sirius XM, which is an American-based satellite radio network. And I always loved listening to it. When Josh points out that Casey Kasem was also the voice of Shaggy in Scooby-Doo. Perhaps, and he's probably best known as that to a lot of audiences. So Casey Kasem talk here for you on Runway DFW. coming up to the top of the hour, so let's do this. It is almost 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time here from Runway DFW live at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in the great state of Texas. We're about to watch Speedbird take off. Where'd he go? There he is. A380, the mighty 380, on its way to London.
We're everywhere.
But we're here. And I've got to change the battery in my silly scanner because it's beeping at me again. The question is, do I have 2 AA batteries left? Nope, only one. So unfortunately, we've got that little beep to listen to until it peters out. So I'll put that on my shopping list. AA batteries. So I was going to show you this. This is Runway DFW in color because we're coming up at the top of the hour. And so wherever you may be in the world, we welcome you to our broadcast. If you're new, glad to have you with us. If you've been here since the start, glad to have you with us as well. Yes, Joe the Square Peg, saying the lumbering giant is on the move. That is a big aircraft. There's a fellow plane spotter. We got another Volaris flight here. I don't think I've ever seen 2 take off in succession. More radio talk. Well, let's watch this Delta Jet takeoff, shall we? Probably heard it groaning. Lumbering giant is still lumbering. Oh, here it comes. So we saw an American Airlines A319 going up to Chihuahua. We had another A319 coming in from Eugene, Oregon. And now, of course, we have the King, British Airways Flight 192, A380 off to London. We don't have a jingle for this one. It's too new. It's only 8 years old. So we'll watch the King eclipse that lineup of American Airlines tails. Oh, the Volaris flight is taking off without us. There's a bit of Alaska action for you with an American jet making its way to the top of runway 18 left. And there again is the King headed to the top of 18 left. Raina Taylor saying, I hope I get to fly on this plane soon. Hope you do too.
Left line up at Wayne American 2837.
And it's proceeding smartly to the top end of the runway here. It's always so interesting to see when a plane that big intersects with a normal sized plane like that. We welcome Pete Davis to the Runway DFW family, our newest subscriber. And now it's going to make the big turn. It's going to be pointed just about head on to us. Have a good flight, mates. And there with the skyline of Dallas in the background goes Speedbird.
Going to departure, good day.
Targeting with 130 with 11, runway 17 left, middle land, to Bravo 8 stations here, came out up to good now, 29 at 8
And there goes the King making a left bank. Because it took off to the south and it's kind of got an angle over to the northwest, or sorry, the northeast, to get back to home base. We weren't on the air live when this plane landed today, just after 5 o'clock local time, but I did shoot it. I shot it with 3 cameras, with my, all in 4K, with my my main camcorder, and with 2 smartphones attached to the same mount, with kind of a standard angle and a wide angle. So it'll be interesting to see if I can put that together into a montage. Safe travels to Speedbird. Here's Alaska Airlines. 737-900 off to Seattle. A 6-year-old 737-990ER. Do I see a One World American Airlines livery? Yes, I do. As we get word from our friend Jedricks Jones. Where did I see that? There it is. American Airlines 777 from Seoul, about 10 minutes out, so we'll be on the lookout for that. Thank you, Jedricks. And we say goodnight to Stephen Garfield. We're happy to have had you with us, Stephen, as we welcome Christy Dennis from South Carolina. And yes, Christy answers the question that newbies want to know. Yes, this is an American Airlines hub, the biggest American Airlines hub, and in fact the second busiest airport in the world, according to the last statistics I saw. Hang on for another second, folks. I got to get myself another drink, so I'll be right back. Your host really needed that water break, I gotta tell you. So thank you for indulging me with that. Let's get back to some airplanes here. We've got a couple lined up here. I think you saw the cloud formation there as the setting sun illuminates the tops of those clouds. And as we look at that, we're going to be watching American Eagle Flight 4042 coming in from Wichita Falls in Texas after a brief jaunt. And you can see it's getting dark here. Wichita Falls, just a 25-minute flight from this location. American Flight 810, an Airbus A321 on its way to Ontario, California, in the Los Angeles area. My computer screen keeps dimming. I think it's trying to tell me it's hot. Here's that One World livery that we saw a little bit earlier. 737-800 on its way to the Breaking Bad universe of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Where I think I saw that the city has recently unveiled a statue to honor Walter White and Jesse Pinkman, the fictional stars of that show. And this one kind of snuck up on me, didn't it? This is the one from, I think, Seoul. Yes. 777 from Seoul. I saw that out of the corner of my eye and I thought, uh-oh, I'm missing something. I think we got most of it. And there you see an emergency vehicle headed kind of in our direction. There's actually two of them. And we see these going out almost every time we're here. Somebody's having an emergency, or there's a car fire or an accident or something. And I think Saul Fury is giving us a compliment here. Best view for takeoffs, like sitting on the ringside of a UFC fight. Better view than at LAX airport. First time and amazed. Thank you, Saul. I'm a little jealous of some of the views they get over at LAX, but I'm not complaining that we've got this view here, and we can share it with you. I mean, I get kind of, I wish we had more variety of places to shoot from. I'm still working on finding an alternate location or two, just for some variety, but still we've got a very nice panoramic view of the airport here. At least this side of the airport. The airport has an east and a west side, and we are on the west side. There's that cloud formation. I don't think the camera is picking up the colors of that. It's a kind of a pale orange at the top of that cloud formation. Loris Ernst is saying hello from Texas. Oh, she's saying that to Jamie Campbell. Just watched your A380 take off. And Jacob Gerard says, I'm watching the stream at Founders. Well, that's where we are. Jill Jeans Nolan just subscribed. Hello, Jean. Glad to have you here. And Jacob, come over and see us if you are so inclined. John Franco says if you ever get bored at DFW, just go ride the SkyTrain, which is nice, but you have to. Originally, when they put that that shuttle between the terminals in, you could ride it from the from the outside, but now you have to have a ticket to be and get through security to be able to ride the SkyTrain here at DFW, which is as it should be because most people use it to change terminals. So, well, we've got some action here. It's American Eagle Flight 4193 coming in from McAllen, Texas after an hour and 10 minutes in the sky. Here we go. It's an Embraer 175. Starting to get dark here fast. Hey there, Malu Bamberg, watching from Brasilia in Brazil. You missed or maybe you didn't miss it, but we did have a flight head off to Sao Paulo just a little bit ago, an American Airlines flight. Dailing Mark says, Runway DFW, have you spotted at Sky Harbor before? Sky Harbor, I think that's a great name for an airport, by the way. That's in Phoenix. And no, I have not. I've been there to change planes there once. I think I changed planes on Southwest once going out to the West Coast. But I've never plane spotted there. The only places we've officially plane spotted here on Runway DFW is Love Field in Dallas once. We weren't really welcome there. We got a really warm welcome at Austin Bergstrom International Airport in Austin, Texas, and I hope to go back there again soon. We were there for an afternoon and an early morning shoot, and that's on our website. We got to see an old DC-10 FedEx plane landing. That was quite a sight to see, with the skyline of Austin behind it. We have a question from Kevin Muttershaw. Is this the main airport in Texas? Sorry if it sounds like a silly question. I'm in the UK. That's not a silly question at all. We have, I guess the two major international airports in Texas would be Houston Intercontinental in Houston and DFW here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Technically, DFW is busier than Houston, but Houston does get some flights that we don't get in terms of international air traffic. So. And Christy Dennis saying, good night guys, have you been to Charlotte to shoot? Charlotte, North Carolina? No, we're pretty much based here in Dallas-Fort Worth, and I can't move around too much, at least not yet. Maybe someday. There's a lot of equipment to lug around. So really, wherever I go would have to be by car. Here is Sun Country Flight 504. It's going back to Minneapolis, St. Paul. It is a 737-800. It dates back to 2001. And And while that's 21 years old, it's not old enough to have a jingle here at Runway DFW. So, sorry, Sun Country Flight 801. Maybe in a couple of years. John Franco says, I feel like Austin is gate capped, which explains why that airport is such a mob show during most of the day. Yeah, they've grown quite a lot as far as their operations there. And I know they have plans in the works to add more gates, but of course that's going to take a little bit of time. Victor Career is saying there's a long story of why DFW is big and why it was started after Love Field. City of Dallas fought with Southwest and because they had limited expansion. Well, actually, if I recall, I won't speculate, but yeah, there is a long story behind it. A lot of politics involved. Everything Chris, hello. From Kingston, Jamaica. Hello, Everything Chris. Good to see you here on Runway DFW. That's American Airlines Flight 1229 arriving from Los Cabos in Mexico, an A321. We've got a pretty good crowd here this evening at DFW Founders Plaza. You know, once the sun goes down, it's not too bad with the wind. It's still 98 degrees, of course, but it only feels like, I don't know, 95 with the wind chill, I guess. Christy Dennis is a new subscriber to Runway DFW. Welcome, Christy. There's an Ameriflight twin prop carrying cargo for UPS. It's coming in from Amarillo, Texas. It says on my radar screen on Flight Radar 24, it says it's diverting to Wichita Falls, but I guess not.
Land 13 map southwest 36.
Another plane spotter just showed a picture of me that she took. of me at work. Do I have a jingle for this Beach 1900C? I do. I do indeed.
1989.
Yup. That's how old that one was. But we'll see that coming towards us for a little bit. Yes, you can see it's getting dark here. And Kevin Mottershaw saying, that looks like a nice place there for plane spotters. It is. Just one complaint, one tiny complaint. Well, two really. The last couple of times we've been here, the sprinklers have come on while we're broadcasting. And I generally will broadcast from the grassy area, which I'll show you here in a second. There's a nice grassy area. See where those people are sitting over there. I'm usually somewhere out there because you get a little better access to the runway views from on top of that. But the last couple of times I've been here, the sprinklers have come on while I've been broadcasting, and that causes a bit of a scramble, particularly when one has an assortment of gear like this all hooked up and wired, and it's hard to move around. So I have moved back today to this concrete pad area. It's a little further back than I'd like to be, but it's a little more sprinkler friendly. We have planes coming in at 8:37 local time. Let's see if we can get this little beach coming in. It lit up its tail for us, that's nice. And that is one of the statues of children here that graces the Plaza, with the West Tower behind it, and in the background, and a little further in the foreground, one of the UPS fleet of MD-11s. And I don't even have you pointed at that right. Didn't have I was on camera 2. I should have been on camera 1. I'm gonna have to talk to those guys in the truck. Oh, that's so nice. Hello, Jacob. Pleasure to meet you. Really? Wow. How long have you been here? Oh, really? It's a hot day to hang out, but probably not tomorrow. Maybe Sunday morning. Oh, well, happy birthday. How old are you going to be? Let me guess. 14? 16. I'm not good at that. My grandson is just turned 6, so I'm kind of more focused. Not at all. Glad to see you all. Oh,
Via YouTube or
you can send it to runwaydfw@gmail.com.
email? Okay, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nice to meet you guys too. Have fun. Some visitors from Hot Springs, Arkansas came all the way here, not to see me, but to watch the airplanes. But the young man does watch Runway DFW, so we were happy to greet him. Hey, there's a tail of an airplane.
160 up to 10,000, clear for takeoff, 17 left, America, 17 right, American 27. 2851, contact Scotia. 2851, good day.
That's American Flight 2515. It's headed out to Austin, Texas. We're down to Austin, Texas, which is to the south of here. Flight 2515, 737-800. As nightfall descends upon the gigantic airport complex. I think I see somebody watching us here at the airport.
American 2785, cross for my 17 right at Melon, contact ground 165, good night. 13918, text to via Mike, Bravo, hold short of my 17 right.
This guy's watching Runway DFW on his phone. I saw it. He's going to be surprised. So greetings from Runway DFW. So I think that fire equipment is returning from wherever we saw it going earlier to its base here on the west side. That flight is going off to Austin. Oh yeah, we said that already. Just kind of lost track of it there. Okay, I don't know how much longer we can go because it is getting dark. John Franco letting us know that flights between DFW and Austin always have to navigate around restricted military airspace near Fort Hood. That was American Flight 2432 coming in from Mexico City, 737-800. I need to adjust this camera. It's cutting off the top of that tower. Maybe I'll just zoom out a little bit. There we go. Looks like we have incoming flights. Our next one is American Airlines, Flight 1832. An A321 coming in from the mile-high city of Denver. We're getting illuminated by headlights here. very pretty, if a little bit blurry, when we get to this time of the night. Here's American Airlines Flight 1312. It's an A319 headed to Silao in Mexico.
Takeoff 18 left, American 1312.
Look, it's got its tail all lit up for us and everything.
American 892, turn left heading 160, maintain 10, 10,000, runway 179 for takeoff. Alpha 2138, contact, George, good night. 238, switch in, good night. American 1728, 177, parking east. American 1728, DFW Tower, 1130 10, 417 center, clear left. Go ahead, 17 center, 1728.
So that arrival, American Flight 2747, was coming in from San Diego, and the plane that took off was going to Silao in Mexico. So now you know. Sharaf Nassour is saying hello, just joined. We're glad to have you with us, Sharaf. Hope I pronounced your name correctly. Daring Mark saying, Runway DFW, it was a pleasure watching planes for a little bit. Thanks for sharing with me. Have a good rest of your night. Thank you, Daring. Happy to have had you with us. Yeah, people come and go from these streams all the time. Some people stick around. And as nightfall descends, we will bring you the arrival of American Airlines Flight 1371 from American Eagle Flight 1371 from Laredo in Texas. A CRJ 701ER. And yeah, focus does tend to get to be a problem around this time. It's colorful, very disco-like, but we may be nearing the end of our useful camera life here as the temperature dips to a very balmy 97 here. Josh says it's amazing how quickly the sun sets in Dallas. Well, it's probably that way most places. And of course, since we've gone beyond the summer solstice now, it does get a little darker a little earlier every night. And just subscribed. All the success to your channel. Thank you. And I can only recognize that the lettering is Korean, but I can't read it. And thank you, Juan Lopez and Santi 060 Records, just subscribing, new subscribers to us. But yes, I know I can recognize Korean lettering, but I don't read it. My son is very fluent in Korean. He lives and works in Seoul for a a news organization which specializes in insight about North Korea. And we've got American Airlines Flight 1560 coming in from El Paso in far west Texas. It's another baby bus, an A319. I don't think I can go in any further than that without losing focus anymore. But we're having fun here at DFW Founders Plaza. Got some more regional action coming in. Our next incoming plane is from Corpus Christi on the Texas Gulf Coast, an Embraer 145. American Eagle Flight 3736. And here it comes now. Yeah, it doesn't really want to focus in. Now that's disco. Malou Bamberg saying, the most pleasant experience is drinking beer while watching high-level plane spotting. Bro, that's the Friday night I was waiting for. So, glad we could help out with that. And Malou has subscribed to Runway DFW. So, good to see that. Thank you very much. And Loris Ernst saying thanks for the great stream, Walt. You're welcome, Loris. I'm glad we could add a little something to your Friday, I hope. At least help you kill a little time. I believe this is going to be American Flight 1399 off to San Diego. I hesitated because when I see San, I always think of San Antonio, but San Antonio, the designation is SAT for the airport, and SAN is San Diego, of course.
American 1923. 208-9er, 113010. Southwest 58, visual 13 right. 13 right, go ahead, Southwest 58.
Now it's Friday Night Lights, says Josh Aldrich. Yeah, we're kind of getting to that point. If we can pick it out of the nighttime. I don't even know if I can do it with my eyes. This, I believe, will be American Flight 1923 to Querétaro in Mexico. That's an A319, but coming in from Puerto Vallarta in Mexico is American Flight 1467, and there it is now.
Takeoff 18 left American 1923. Right, we're ready to roll. We'll be next. 2279, 2209, copy.
I've lost all track of time. Almost 9 o'clock here in the central time zone of the USA. Now arriving from Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota, American Flight 2406, 737-800. Sometimes they stay in focus and sometimes they don't. There's a whole lineup of planes. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 in the skies on approach. See if there's anything interesting up there. The first one in line is American Eagle Flight 3135 from Oklahoma City. A relatively brief flight. There's the view at Founders Plaza from camera 3 as we await the next arrival or departure. Jedrix Jones saying, I like the night stream. The lights are beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, the cameras we have are not really designed for being able to do this. I mean, obviously they can take pictures, but it's kind of pushing their abilities, and the focus is not great at this time of night. And everything looks a little soft. So I imagine if you're watching on a big screen TV in the living room, it may look, why is that so blurry? And the reason why in this case I'm not zooming in as far as I normally would is because I know it's not going to be focused. Runway North Texas asks, how long can you stream at DFW? Each time I love the beautiful lights and the Dallas skyline. Well, as I said, I like doing this. It's fun. But I don't want to. I recognize that, like when you see that, that's a little hard to watch. Sometimes, and I think you'll see this on other streams too, they've got to kind of zoom out and then zoom back in again to for the camera to figure out what it's seeing. That was American Eagle Flight 3770 in Embraer 170, not a 175. There aren't as many 170s as there are 175s, but that's one of the 170s. In fact, I think I saw that American Eagle was acquiring some more of those aircraft. That is an Embraer 175. It's a little larger. It has a few more seats than the 170. And it's on a trip to Springfield, Missouri, I would guess. And I would like to give a big thanks to Joshua, or Jazua, did I pronounce it right? Jazua Roberts, with a very kind super chat of $2 Australian from him, and hi Runway DFW from Gold Coast, Australia. And hello to you, Joshua, and thank you very much. Run into a low battery on our... No, we shouldn't have a low battery on that. Is it plugged in? We've lost camera 2. Even though I guess it's been, now everything is blowing off my table. Hold on. Well, yeah, we definitely lost camera 2. Hotspot is blowing. It's gotten very gusty here all of a sudden. And yes, we do have some bots that are invading our stream, but we do have executive producer Mrs. Runway DFW trying to take a hold of that situation. I'm trying to figure out camera 2 here. But we have, I've got a lot of things that are about to get blown away. Very gusty wind. So sorry, I got distracted there. You know, I think I'm gonna have to end this, because things are just getting blown around in a way that is non-conducive to broadcasting. So let me batten down the hatches here for a second. There's camera 2. I'm putting it down on the table here so it doesn't get blown over. And so I think that's going to do it for this windy Friday night edition of Runway DFW. Thank you all for spending a part of your evening or morning or afternoon with us, wherever you are in this wide world. We did not get invaded tonight by sprinklers, fortunately, but the wind is just picking up to, it seems like it's gusting to about 20 or 25 or even more. And my tripod is battened down by a 50-pound battery, so I don't think it's going anywhere, but I've got a lot of other stuff around that can get blown down. My scanner antenna got blown over. And so we are going to say goodbye. So thank you very much for watching this evening. Here we go. That is our closing music. I want to thank you all again. And we'll be back, I think, sometime over the weekend, probably early Sunday morning Dallas time. So watch out for us there. Subscribe and like, trademark, to Runway DFW, and click the little bell to be informed when we are going to broadcast next. And hey, I had fun. I hope you did too. I'll see you again soon. And don't forget, happy contrails to you until we meet again. Thank you again, one and all, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.